When the party was nice, the party was bumping. Yippee-yi-yo, and everybody having a ball. Yippee-yi-yo, I tell all the fellas stop the name calling. Yippee-yi-yo, and the girls they all respond to the song.
All right, we're back with Barkin with the Dawgs, and this week
what's going on in here? What?
The boss is here.
Oh,
For the first time ever on episode whatever this is. We have Michael Feuling, the AD, here at Montana Western. For the longest time, I thought his last name was Feuling. My apologies. I think a lot of people did.
It is.
It took a couple of years for it to break in. Wait, it's what?
It's not. It's not. You're good. You're
yeah,
good.
I know.
You're good.
But we always thought that's what it was. It took a good year for everyone to learn that.
Well, and it still takes. When my wife and I got married, she called me crying when we got back from our honeymoon. She called crying because the bank called and said Miss Feuling, and her name was always easy. Her last name was always easy to pronounce. So well, you knew that going into the marriage. So
it is an interesting way to say it, I must say.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, it's really nice to have him on for the first time. There's a lot of cool things happening here at Montana Western. As everyone knows that's watching this, the stadium is currently being built. There's also a student rec center being built in front of the Bark, and it looks pretty good out there. And we've had a pretty light winter. They've made a lot of progress on the football field.
No, it's going to be great. The only downside about the football field is that you don't get to put the hand down and go after it.
We got to do the little shovel thing out there.
That
was cool enough. We got to put the hard hats on and do the gold shovel and break the ground. I think
somehow I looked over and somehow Tanner got yourself into it, and it was like
we all got ourselves. We got a pretty cool picture of the paper from it. I'm just really happy for those guys, and it's going to look super cool, and I can't wait to get to see what it looks like this summer. I'm sure it'll be done probably July or August and be ready for the first home game. How about the Student Rec Center? What's that look like, and what's that going to look like for the future of the athletics?
Yeah, so what it is right now we have to game plan or manage fitting 4 or 5 groups into the weight room, which is a hassle. And in this health craze that we're living in, where everyone wants to work out, trying to find time and trying to be respectful of everyone's time, what that rec center will do is give that to the students, all students, including student athletes, but allow them an opportunity to go in whenever they want. No real restricted hours, I think, per se. But then what that does is then opens up the weight room for strictly athletics and Montana Youth Challenge. And, hopefully we can maybe get football or a couple groups not to work out quite at 6 a.m. or have to do those tough morning hours.
That's the fun part.
See, well, then that's the difference. I tried working out the other day at 8 a.m., which is 4 or 5 hours before the time I work out, and I'm just not a morning workout person.
Now that I'm done, it feels a little better to work out a little later. And during COVID, we worked out at random times, and we'd work out at like 1 o'clock, and that was actually a lot better.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're ever going to get anybody off the 6 a.m. kick. So what is it going to look like in there? So is there basketball courts? I've never really seen the plans for that like I've seen for the football field. Basketball court, nice little weight room that has a couple racks, maybe some dumbbells, some machines.
Mm-hmm. No basketball courts, just more or less an extension of what's upstairs in the weight room. More so 1 or 2 kind of yoga fitness studios. You can tell kind of from the blueprint it's a smaller version, but so it's pretty much just going to be kind of fitness equipment and the cardio. I think they've put an emphasis on 1 or 2 rooms for kind of some mental health stuff, some relaxation, some different things.
So is it going to have like Bulldog card access like
I believe so. Yeah.
So what does the athletic weight room look like? So are you going to get some new stuff? Or
well, the one thing I've heard is mirrors.
Nope, don't need those.
Don't need mirrors. We'll cross that one off the list.
Coach Good always watches these. You should hear his opinion on mirrors.
I heard his, Coach Good and I worked very closely together during his year here, where we talked about the potential for mirrors but maybe, I didn't know, maybe times have changed. Maybe he's softened his stance a little bit, but
I don't know. He'll text me after this episode. He always does.
And then that way I can kind of dictate we're hoping to. Well, we have the other window going in, which will bring some more light in there. Eventually, it will get
it's a
done.
dungeon in there.
It's a dungeon. We did get AC in there.
Yep, that was a big plus. That's got to be expensive. Those things are running all the time.
It is, but we have a great facilities crew that was able to put that in for cheap, and it's for the betterment of the student athletes and the students.
Yeah, it can get pretty hot in there in the summers.
Yes,
It's nice to have those in there. So what about like other stuff besides mirrors? Is there any like equipment things right now, or is it just kind of all play it by ear when that comes around?
I think we're just going to play it by ear right now. We got a few priorities that we want to try to hammer down, but we're fortunate to have a nice weight room up there. I mean, it's nicer than some of the ones I've seen, and so we'll kind of just wait and play it by ear.
It's come a long way in 6 years.
Yeah,
You should have been there to put the floor in.
that's what I've heard.
Crazy.
It was quite.
I didn't put the floor in, but I took the stuff out and took the flooring out, and a few other guys. It was quite the experience. So, what does the future of like the arena look like now? Is it just gonna stay that hard concrete floor?
We're evaluating all options. Myself and a few others are going to do kind of a walk around in the next few days, just to kind of take a look at what some options are. I have my dream scenario, but we've also have hosted a lot more events, and part of what we are liking as the university is hosting the community. Yep. Being able to have the community to come to campus and see the tremendous growth and progress that we have, but then also just be good community partners. So we'll wait and see.
It's gone good. Having all the new events in there has been nice to see, and I think people enjoy it, and getting to come up there and be a part of the college, I think is good. So whatever it turns out to be, it'd be nice. Yeah. I think it should be turf. That'd be sweet. Some people might not agree with that, but even to do half of it turf would be pretty cool. That's a lot of money, but we'll see about that. So now let's move on from that kind of talk and talk about what it's been like. This is going on year 3.
2.5.
2.5 going into the next year will be 3. So how's it been the last year getting more adjusted and everything?
It's still been a whirlwind. Time literally just flies by. This time is always bittersweet because one of the things I truly love is creating the relationships with the student athletes, and you have senior days coming up, and in one day, losing Jordan Sweeney and losing Shaney Mack, and then you look at some of on the guys team, Grayson and Big Mike.
Big Mike's coming back. He says he's not, but he's coming.
We'll see.
I'll convince him.
We'll see.
If you watched the podcast before, we didn't talk about that, but he should come back.
But and even for football, it was difficult standing there watching you, Arts.
That was a big senior class.
All those guys that have meant so much to the university, meant so much to me in such a short time. So it's difficult, but the thing that really makes it awesome is the student athletes. And so then there's just the next generation, or the next group that's coming in, the next group that's coming in, and being able to do that. I really like where we're at athletically. I like what we're doing competitively. We had a phenomenal fall. We have 2 tremendous new basketball coaches that are coming in and getting their feet wet, learning all the ins and outs of what it takes to be successful. And I can't wait to see what a full year looks like for them. Cross country, track and field. We have someone qualify in the 60-meter.
Shout out Isaiah Thomas.
Not the Isaiah Thomas from the Bad Boys, but Isaiah Thomas here.
First race ever.
First race ever. Had no idea where to go. Yeah. So we're excited. We're excited about it. Then you had the fitness center out there, and then you had the Bulldog, or the sports and activities complex, and we're just very fortunate right now. So I'm in a very fortunate situation with what we have going on, and
you're kind of here for the turning of the tide, and it has to do with you too. Just so you know.
Well, thank you. And
it's been nice to turn a page and see all these new things. And how about? Do you have a date of when the sports and activities complex will be I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but
well,
the people need to know.
It better be ready September 6th for the game September 7th. I've already, Lindsay Branch and I, shout out, Lindsay Branch is right behind the camera. She doesn't get enough credit, by the way, either.
I agree.
That we have to, we will be working around the clock to get all the game management side of things. We have a video scoreboard, so she's going to have to learn the video scoreboard system.
Video?
Oh, yeah.
Is it big?
I don't know. I think a video scoreboard in Dillon doesn't really matter the size.
I agree.
Like it could be this size.
Like this big?
I think it could be this size. So the pressure is on Lindsay to really learn that system.
So we're going to have some cool highlights and stuff up there? Oh,
yeah.
Man, that's... Coach Norris has a saying that we don't need that stuff. But
Coach Norris, little known secret, and I'll spill his secrets. That was Coach Norris's biggest want with the scoreboard.
Oh, man.
Yep. So don't let him tell you.
Get him on here to talk to him about that.
Huh. Don't let him fool you. And he's in Cabo right now, relaxing.
I know he is. That's his first vacation in 30 years.
That's insane.
His whole life. Yeah, he doesn't take.
And he's probably worried about what Jed, Martello, Wantlin are doing with this program right now.
Probably not. I think he's probably relaxing. Hopefully he's golfing a little bit. Golfing.
It's true.
He sometimes gets a little angry when he golfs, but
yeah,
we all do.
Really quick before,
especially if you're a lefty.
Yeah, and I'm a lefty, so that's not good. I want to, before we turn the tide here, before I go, what's next? I'm going to flip the script. What's next for the guy that owns the record in tackles for loss? Where is Mr. Tanner Harrell
I'm not
going?
sure.
What is next?
I'm not sure yet. I don't know. I mean, just kind of hanging out right now. I'm done with school, and I think as of right now, just probably try and find a job and hopefully get to coach here in Dillon. I'm coaching track and field at the high school in the spring. Here in a couple weeks, it starts up, and I'm just really excited about that. And we'll see where things kind of lead for right now. And
is there football in the future?
Maybe. We'll see. I'm just looking at some options right now and working hard to see what can happen for me. I don't really talk about it too much, but just kind of working hard, and we'll see where things go. I've got something planned for April to go try and do that, and we'll see what happens. But other than that, if not, I'll come back and probably live in Dillon and coach. And
the last question for your workout that you have is the famous green half undershirt. Is that going to be?
It's retired.
So that will not be worked out.
If I play football away from here, it'll never be seen again. It's going to go in a little case.
I think we should. Oh, that's a good point.
I've worn that every year since I was an 8th grader. For anybody that's seen it, a little green half shirt that I wore for every game. And I took it off one last time, washed it, and it went. And I just moved out of my house, and it went in a tote. And when I find it, it'll go somewhere else.
Legit.
Yeah, it was a good run for that shirt. But
okay, well then I think it's time to start a new chapter.
It is.
Like MJ always wore his Carolina basketball shorts under his Bulls shorts. It's time for you to start that new.
You got to start something new. We'll see what happens and enjoy every second of it. And he's got AD duties to go meet here in a few minutes for some meetings. So
this was a privilege. I'm glad I stumbled upon this.
Yeah, it was good. I'm glad you finally got on here and you kind of informed the people. That's what this is all about. Informing Bulldog Nation about Bulldog athletics. That's what this is about.
Shout out to Tanner's parents. They are awesome as well. They do a great job. Always the biggest fans, and I like it too because they're away, so they can yell as loud as they want, and no one knows who they are. But your dad already promised that they'll be back for more games.
Oh, so. I'm sure they will. My mom will probably text me later if this gets uploaded today, probably crying. I'm sure.
Let's go.
Telling me, oh my goodness, I'm so proud of you, son.
Let's go.
It'll be something like that. All right.
Well, we're proud of you too, buddy.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.